What's going on, guys? This is Miasin. So a brand new Centurion spell card has been announced for Valiant Smashers. This set is looking to be busted, honestly, and it's going to be introducing 3 new archetypes for the game. So we're going to be getting Valmonica, Memento, and Centurion, but Centurion is looking to be by far the best one out of the 3, and I would honestly say that it is potentially the best deck to ever exist in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because even though the power level isn't that high, it's insanely consistent. It doesn't know how to break. Everything is a one-card combo that locks your opponent. So yeah, it just doesn't really have any flaws. You don't even have to play any bad cards to make the deck work, actually. Every card does something, and that's the beauty about it. Like, all the cards that aren't really good, you can either play them as 1-ofs or as 0-ofs. There's really no drawback, honestly. This is going to be completely changing everything about this game, and I am willing to bet that once the OCG gets the set, the Centurion deck is going to get a lot of cards banned, especially Crimson Dragon or Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity. So today I will be reviewing it. It is this card right here, but before that, I will be reviewing this new Valmonica spell card as well. But also, before that, I would also like to remind you guys to smash the like and subscribe button. Let's go, you already know the drill, and now let's get right into it. So, the card right here, the Valmonica card, is Valmonica Skelta or something. Normal spell card, you can only activate a card with this card's name once per turn. Apply one of these effects, your opponent's choice, if you do not have a Valmonica card in your Pendulum Zone. So, gain 500, then you can place 1 card from your hand to the bottom of the deck, and if you do, draw 2 cards. Alright, take 500 damage, then you can add 1 Valmonica spell or trap from your deck to your hand, except Valmonica Skelta. Okay, so that's actually not too bad. It gives like more searchability to all your cards because again, you can mimic the effect of your Valmonica spells and traps that either gain life points or take damage. It's always relevant to have effects that allow you to go +1. So yeah, this card, if you're actually activating the spell card from your hand, you're not going +1, you're just going break even. But if you are using the effect to like copy, then you are going +1 actually, because you're not really losing anything outside of 1 card from your hand, but then you're getting 2 cards in exchange. But anyways, this is the big part of this video. So Emblema of Oath, absolutely wild. You can only activate 1 card with this card's name once per turn. Activate one of these effects, so either place 1 Centurion monster from your deck face up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous trap. And the fact that they're a continuous trap means that you can use their effects on your opponent's turn, because they are quick effects by definition, since they're continuous traps. And if you do, you can out special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, while you control a card with a placed original name, except Centurion monsters. So you can still summon Centurion monsters even if you control that card in your spell and trap zone. You can summon anything you want once it is no longer in your spell and trap zone. So that's actually kind of wild. And this card also dodges like a lot of things like Ash, Droll. But yeah, even if there's a card that says like your opponent cannot activate trap cards, which I don't think there's a card that says that, but yeah, if there is one, then you would still be able to like play around it, because you're not activating like a Centurion monster from your deck in your spell and trap zone as a continuous trap, you're rather placing it. I think there's like a Dynamist trap card that does that. Dynamist Howling. When this card is activated, you can place 1 or 2 Dynamist Pendulum monsters from your deck in your Pendulum Zone. That is one of the only cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! That allows you to get skills in your Pendulum skills through anti-spell. So yeah, very interesting wording, but yeah, it does matter. Anyways, set 1 Centurion spell or trap directly from your deck. Again, plays around Ash and Droll. That's just crazy. It's really insane that a card this simple can be this good, and it's also a quick play, so even on your opponent's turn, if you draw multiple copies of this card, it's still really good. Use 1 on your turn, 1 on your opponent's turn, and again, you're placing a card on your from your deck in your spell and trap zone on your opponent's turn that you can summon right away, because it is a continuous trap and they all have the same freaking effect to like special summon themselves as a quick effect during either player's turn or during either player's main phase. I can't believe a deck that is already really good and really consistent is getting even more support. So the thing about Centurion is, and the reason why I said that it was potentially the best deck in the game, in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Potentially, is because right now we have 7 cards in the main deck, well, 7 different Centurion cards, and I believe that 4 of them are 1-card starters, which is wild. We got Primera, which is a searcher and obviously a 1-card combo. We got Shudea, also a 1-card combo. We got Stand Up Centurion, the field spell, which again is a 1-card combo, so this means that Terraforming is a 1-card combo. And by the way, Centurion Shudea is a pyro monster, so that's searchable by Bonfire, which also means that Bonfire is a 1-card combo. And then we've got Centurion Phalanx, which is a cool card that has a nice graveyard effect, but whatever, you just play it as a 1-of. And the Shoot Centurion, the counter trap, you don't really have to play it, so yeah, you can live without it. I mean, it's not like super necessary. And the Centurion Emmet 6 is the only card that doesn't really get anything going, as well as the Fate of Centurion. It's more of like a Monster Reborn. It's an extender, but it doesn't really get anything started for you, so if you break and you got like these cards, they're not gonna help you out too much, but if you have a good hand with these cards, they're obviously really good, and they're needed in the combo anyways. Well, Fate of Centurion is especially good at giving you a follow play, whereas Centurion M6 is truly needed. Even though you can actually live without it because Trudea can adjust its level to level 8. So you got Trudea and Primera to go into your Centurion Legatia, which is your level 12 synchro monster. And then of course, if you already have Legatia and you can synchro summon in your opponent's turn, you can go into Crimson Dragon and then into Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity and then skip your opponent's turn basically. So this is like the most consistent deck I've ever seen in my life. We got 3, 6, 10, 13, 16 one-card starters. That is ridiculous. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. But a deck with 16 one-card starters, a 40-card deck, definitely can play a lot of hand traps, a lot of floodgates. This deck can play. There can only be one very well, better than like almost any deck, because you can just sit on a Protect the Castle strategy with Centurion Legatia and just not really do anything else because it's honestly really annoying to out. And if you've got the Primera in your Spell and Trap zone, your Legatia is going to be indestructible by card effects, and all of your monsters with 2000 or less attack will be indestructible by battle. You got an interruption with when Legatia is summoned, and you draw a card. And during each end phase, your opponent's end phase, you're always getting back a Centurion monster from your graveyard in your Spell and Trap zone, which means you never run out of gas. This deck has so much, you know, recursion. It got everything going for it. I don't even know what to say, but honestly, even if King Calamity gets banned, this deck is still good because you still have other options. Like, you can go into shooting Quasar Dragon, Cosmic Blazer Dragon, even though they must be synchro summoned. I don't really think it changes anything because Crimson Dragon does treat your cheat summon as a synchro summon, which is wild. Cosmic Quasar Dragon could be good. I don't know. Even the TG monsters, we could probably look into them. Yeah, there's just so many options, honestly, when you're actually cheating out the monsters. And Despian Lulu Walidith is another card that I considered at first because on the end phase, you get to summon a spellcaster monster from your deck whose attack matches its defense, a light spellcaster. And what do you know? Centurion Primera is a level 4 light spellcaster with 1600 attack and defense. So you can actually summon the Primera on the end phase if you manage to send Lulu Walidith from your extra deck to the grave. So it even means that the cards like Dogmatica Punishment could be really good in this deck. And do you really need your extra deck in this deck? I mean, you do, but you can summon on your opponent's turn as well. So even if you're locked on your own turn, it might not be the end of the world. The issue with Punishment is that it locks you for 2 turns. So that might be a little inconvenient, but whatever. I mean, there's definitely a lot of options. You can also play Nadir Servant that only locks you for this turn and also only for the rest of the turn, I think. So whatever, you can do a bunch of things and then activate Nadir Servant at the very end, and you should be fine. Honestly, this is like the most exciting deck I've ever seen in my entire existence, and by far the most consistent. I mean, the deck also inherently plays through hand traps. You don't lose to Nibiru because on your own turn, you're not really special summoning too much, and you're never losing to Joel because you're only searching once or twice. You're searching twice if you've got something like Bonfire, and then you're searching once if you got something like Primera, and then again, Ash does nothing because you always place cards from your deck in your Spell and Trap zone, or you're always setting cards, as you can see with this card right here, Emblem of Oath, plays around everything. This deck only really loses to Ghost Ogre, and not even on your field spell, because your field spell is indestructible by your opponent's card effects while you control a Centurion monster card. Your opponent is gonna have to hold the Ghost Ogre for your Primera and Trudea, or M6, and it's good, but you still have extenders. It's not the end of the world. You still got Fate of Centurion to get back your cards. You can still play the game. And I guess this deck does lose to Cosmic Cyclone and Twin Twister as well, but like, realistically, those cards never see play in the main deck. They see play in the side deck instead. So if you want to counter Centurion, you definitely can, but you're gonna have to make your deck way worse, and this deck always has the potential of catching people off guard. So ironically, and this is really funny, if Centurion becomes not really good and nobody plays it, this is where it becomes really good. If Centurion is mainstream and everybody plays it because it's, you know, the main consensus that the deck is broken, the deck becomes less good because then people are going to be playing the cards that beat them, like Cosmic, Ghost Ogre, etc. Because obviously there are ways to beat Centurion. It's not a tier 0 deck for sure, but I still want to consider it probably the best deck, at least design-wise, because it doesn't brick. Every card that you play in your deck is just good. You look at any hand, literally, you know for a fact you can always play. It can also splash a lot of engines, like obviously if Fenrir stays a 3 for some reason, which obviously I hope it's not gonna happen, the deck can easily play 3 Fenrir and never conflict, because even with there can only be 1, Fenrir is a psychic monster. You can do whatever you want, honestly. There's just like nothing that restricts you with the Centurion cards either. Honestly, like the deck I want to play play the most when it comes out. Like, and it's coming out 2 days after my birthday, so thank you, Konami, for thinking about me. But yeah, I don't know how you guys feel about Centurion, but I'm extremely excited. I can't wait to get my hands on, you know, this whole deck and also this card because, dude, like I kept saying that the deck has the best foundation I've ever seen in my entire life out of any archetype. For the first wave of support, this is already like ready to be played out of the box. And again, decks never get only one wave of support. Like they always get more cards further down the line, and those cards sometimes are even better than the cards like initially. Like Sky Striker was another one of those decks that was already good as soon as it came out in Dark Saviors, but then we eventually got Hayate, and then obviously recently we got Azalea with, you know, Camellia that we're going to be getting very soon. Those decks that were already good before, even if they get hit, they're going to be getting like unhit in the future. This deck is also potentially a really good investment if you get your hands on it. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and again, let me know your thoughts about Centurion in the comment section below. I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.